Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm just gonna get right into it, to be honest, because it's gonna be quite a long story, most likely. Okay, this video is gonna be about why I quit my job at Subway. I hate that place. I hate even thinking about that place. I started working at Subway in October of 2016. What am I even thinking? And then I quit in February of 2017. So I only worked there for I think it was 6 months. Like October or November. It was 5 or 6 months, not even. So I got the job, and the reason I quit Subway was actually because of where I ended up working. So I first started working at one that was at a different location than the reason I quit. But I moved locations because the other one was way closer to my house. And so I just thought that'd be a smarter idea, which it wasn't, because I had to pay for parking at the first location. And it was $8 a day. And I was only there for 4 hours, barely making any money. It was terrible. I didn't even make enough in tips there. So it was awful. So I wanted to leave that place and go to a new place. So I talked to my manager, and she was super nice, actually. We're gonna call her Sarah. Sarah was super nice. She was my first manager that I had, but when I switched jobs, I ended up switching managers. And that is what set this whole situation off. Because I really did like my job. It was fun. It was interesting. Not the best job. So I ended up switching locations, and at first it was awesome. I was working really good hours, but I was working almost every day because I worked Subway, and then I also work at Pizza Hut right now. I still work at Pizza Hut. So it was hard. I barely had days off, and my manager would schedule my days off, days that I would work at Pizza Hut. I would ask her to please, can I have one day off from both jobs, so don't schedule me on one day. And she would always freaking schedule me on that day. It did not matter what I said. It was awful. She was, but it didn't start off that way. It wasn't terrible. She was only 3 years older than me. I'm 18. I was 18. I was 17, and then I turned 18, and then I left. But yeah, she was barely older than me, and she would, right when I first got there, after a couple weeks, I was doing everything, and she said, would you be interested in being an assistant manager when you turn 18? And I was like, hell yeah, I would. So I was still 17, and she started having me do things that assistant manager would do. I wasn't supposed to, I don't know if you're supposed to know how to do this at every Subway, but at my location, you're not supposed to change the soda things unless you're a manager and assistant manager, which to me makes no sense because it's pretty simple, but everyone else was pretty stupid besides one person. I don't know. But so I would have to do that because I would get there, be empty. Our soda machine would be empty. You're just letting the customers drink air. I don't understand what you're doing. It made me so irritated because I would have to do it, or my manager would have to do it, and she just didn't care. Another thing that sucked was we only had 6 employees, I believe, 6 or 7 employees, and people would call out all the time. Sorry, excuse my language, but people would call out all the time. It was ridiculous. I would have to cover for people all the time. Not even kidding. I wouldn't have to, but I would do it most of the times if I could. But the thing was, whenever I needed someone to cover me, guess what? Guess what? What do you think? No one could ever cover for me. I also want to say that this is just my location, that there are a lot of different Subways, obviously, so they're not all just terrible. They all have different owners. Mine owned a lot of, owned 9 of them, I believe. So, whatever. But it was not because of the owners, because of the manager. Something else that she did that really pissed me off, because you could get in trouble for this. I should have gotten her in trouble for this, but I just didn't because I wasn't thinking. So, you can check your hours, or you can see everyone's hours for everyone's day. It was super weird the way their computer system set up. You could see there would be the name, and there would be how many hours they worked each day. You could see the day, and you could see the time that they say they worked when they clocked in and out or whatever. So there was a day, it was a Sunday, I remember, because I had to work ridiculous hours by myself. I had to work Sundays 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. by myself. Someone would usually not get there until literally 3, or sometimes, rarely, I think it was 2. Oh, it was awful. And it was terrible. But anyways, and also that is not a good idea, because one time I got injured while I was at Subway, and thank goodness someone had just gotten there to help me. I accidentally cut my finger pretty badly with a little, what was it? I was cutting cheese, I think. Oh, it was terrible. I cut my finger. I hated it. I started bleeding everywhere, and all the customers saw it. It was so bad. My God, memories now. Oh yeah, the hours were ridiculous. 6 to 3 by myself. And so, I needed, I hated that. I hated those hours. And then that was only Sunday. And then the other days I had terrible hours. It was 11 to 2 11 to 2:30, like, and then I'd have to work at Pizza Hut from 4 to 8, and because I used to get those kind of hours there too. Okay, something else that really bothered me with my Subway was that my manager would talk shit about people all the time. She would, or not everyone, but because she liked a couple people, but she would always talk crap about this one dude that worked there because he kind of sucked at his job, to be honest. He wasn't very good. Come here. Come here. Oh, good girl. Yeah. Okay, you want to lay down? Want to lay down? Yeah. Well, he kind of sucked at his job, so yeah. So she would kind of talk about that, and then I told her that he didn't even want to work there because he had told me that, and I was kind of a snitch, honestly, and she said something to him about, well, if you don't want to work here, then quit, and he ended up quitting, because if you're going to say that, then they're going to quit, dude. And then we had 5 employees, and how do you think that helped us? Not at all. We didn't, she would not, ooh, I just can't understand this woman. I just didn't understand her. When I was talking about the hours and being able to see everyone's hours, one time when I was working alone, and I knew I had been working alone from 6 to 3, put in that she had been there from, I can't remember when, but it was like 3 or 4 hours that she said she was there. And I swear to God, she was not there that day. I remember looking at it and telling my friend Serene, she won't care if I use her name, I was like, dude, she was not here those days. And she put it in there that she was here those days. And the reason she did that is because on this day, it was my mother's birthday, and it was Super Bowl Sunday, okay? I was scheduled 6 to 3 by myself at Subway. We got busy, but before we even got busy, it was about 10, or no, it was like, yeah, 10 or 11 or something, I don't know. And a guy comes in with his daughter, and they want platters. And I don't know if you know what platters are, but at Subway, they make platters that cost, I don't even know, probably like $40 or $50, 40, probably like 40, I don't know. And he wanted 4 platters, okay? And they're all different sandwiches, almost all of them, like, you know, you do a different row of sandwich, kind of like tuna, whatever. I don't even remember anymore all the names, thank God. Hated that place. He wanted 4 of them in half an hour for the Super Bowl Sunday party. And I was like, okay, you want, okay, let me go grab a form. Okay, I can do this. In my head, like, my manager will come and help me, like, I can call her and she'll be here. She lives like 5 minutes away. We'll be fine. We'll be so fine. Oh, I was not fine. Okay, so my mom got to witness some of this. She got to witness a lot of this. She ended up coming in on this day because it was her birthday, like I said, and they would not let me have the day off because my birthday was the day before and I had that day off. So they would not let me have my mom's birthday off. So it was so stupid. She was in there, like, just sitting at one of the seats, and she watched me start struggling because she saw that she came in as I got that order, and I told them I'd be done in half an hour. A couple customers came in, whatever, during this time, and they were kind enough to wait. They were super nice. They were more like regulars there because Subway has a lot of regulars. So they were nice, and they just talked to my mom. But before I did this, I had called my manager and was like, hey, I just got an order for $160 something. I need help. It's 4 platters. I don't know what the heck I am doing. I need someone's help. She was like, just don't take the order. I'm like, I already took the order. The person's gone. I already took their money. They tipped me $10. It's going down. This order is happening, whether you're here or not. So she's like, well, then I would just say just to do it. Like, you know how to do it. You can do that. Keep in mind, I had done it one time before this with help. I did not even know how you really cut it for the platter. I didn't even know where everything for the platter was. That is how little I knew of what to do. I ended up doing it though. Honestly, you could ask my mother. She saw me do this. I did it. And I got it done before they got there. I got all 4 platters done. It was a mess. I went through all the stuff I had already prepped. So I had to re-prep so much, which is another story. Like, prepping stuff there was terrible too. But I got it done, and I did the other customer sandwiches. They were awesome. One of them tipped me, I think, $1 or something. Oh, bye, Shiloh. So that was just an instance though where it was just ridiculous because my manager put in that she was there that day with that order. Lie, like, she was not there. Why would you lie and say you were there? I don't know. It just was sketchy to me. And you're getting money, you're getting however much, like $40 because you had to say you were there, which is just not fair to me. I don't know. You're ripping off the company, you're stealing from the company, you're just a thief, honestly. And if you're still a manager there, I just don't understand where our regional manager is thinking, because when I quit, I'll tell you. Okay, so after this experience, I was like, you know what? I really hate this place. I could become a driver at Pizza Hut. I don't need to take this shit. It's minimum wage. I get nothing here. I do so much for this stupid place. It was ridiculous. And she had promised I'd be assistant manager when I turned 18. And guess what did not happen? I did not become an assistant manager. And I had been doing everything. I'd been doing everything that the assistant manager is supposed to do, and I would stay late to help her do counts of everything after we got deliveries. And I had to, in the mornings, she didn't want to do it, so I would have to open those mornings and put the deliveries away. And it took forever because there was so much frozen stuff. They just piled right next to the freezer, and I would have to take it in there, and it was hard. It was heavy ass shit. And I'm like a smaller person, like, it was ridiculous. And then one day she knew I was getting really irritated because I just wasn't talking to her really. She was pissing me off. She knew she was pissing me off because I did not appreciate not having help, you know. And I did not like her talking crap about everyone because she would always talk about Serene and just say like, oh my gosh, she doesn't do anything. Oh my God. And I'm just like, what do you say about me when I'm not here? I don't know. I don't like people like that. So I ended up contacting her through text saying that I did not want to continue working there, and I'm going to put my 2 weeks in soon. And she tried to get me to stay. Actually, I do not have these text messages anymore. They were on a different phone number too. I don't remember what she said, pretty much just saying like, I can make you a like a supervisor. A supervisor is what we call it at Pizza, but you only get a 10-cent raise. It was like nothing. It was nothing at all. I was like, no, I could go be a driver, like I already said, and make way more money than that. Oh, okay, well, just write it on a piece of paper that you want to quit then, and the day that you're last gonna be here. So I did, and then she started scheduling me terrible hours, like 11 to 1, like 11 to 1, 11 to 1, 11 to 1, and then like I had one that was 3 to 1 for Saturday, not even 3 to 1, 6 to 1, not even 6 to 3, 6 to 1, which was fine. I didn't mind because I was still alone all that time. Oh, you know what I ended up doing? When I saw that, I was like, 11 to 1, do I really want to go into work this day? It's like, I don't really want to go into work this day. So that's what I did. I did not go into work that day. And guess who I got calls from? My regional manager. Because my manager texted me, are you coming? And I said, oh no, sorry, I didn't know I worked today. I lied. I know I lied. And she's like, it was on the schedule. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I have the wrong schedule. Okay, well, are you going to show up for any more of them? She asked me that later. I might come in on Saturday. I'll come in on Saturday and work because I knew I wouldn't have to work with her, but I'm like, but I won't be there tomorrow. Like, okay, we'll get those covered. You don't need to come in anymore. Okay. And my regional manager was so mad at me because she was like, you can't just not come in anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know I worked today. That's what I was saying. It was ridiculous. But the reason I quit was because I just did not appreciate never being able to call in when I wanted to call in, and I would have no days off because people would be calling in multiple times a week, twice, 2 to 3 times a week. Someone would say that they can't come in, and my manager would ask me, can you come in? Or sometimes she would just like pretty much make me come in, basically. So I eventually kind of stood up for myself. Just remember, I was younger. This was almost a year ago now. I was 17 and I didn't know how to really stick up for myself. But yeah, I don't know. And she was very young. She was younger than my friend there, who's 24 or something, and she hated it there too. She actually ended up quitting and getting a job at Mac. So good job, girl. I'm jealous of you. So that is the time I quit Subway. I don't think there's anything else. I didn't really talk to any of the other coworkers. She hired her friend, and he was on the bigger side. He wasn't very friendly to the customers, and he was super, like, he always wanted to be on the cash register when it was like 11 to 2, when we worked 11 to 2. And he would always want to be on the register and just stand there and do nothing to help. Never refill any of the bins as we're all making the sandwiches, you know, when we have a long line. He would just stand there and be lazy as hell. And it was so annoying. And she didn't even care. Me and Serene would get so annoyed, but she didn't even care. My manager was like, oh, whatever. So changing Subways, it just kind of sucked because my first Subway I worked at was awesome. My manager was nice, Sarah. She was nice. And then this manager, who I never gave a name, call her Glenda. Yeah, I hated Glenda. No offense to you, Glenda, but you're kind of a B-word. Yeah, you're kind of a B-word. I don't know if she still works there. Actually, one funny story. Her car got hit in the parking lot by a huge, like one of those huge semi-truck things that have to, you know, maneuver their way out. And it just like hit her car and marked her car. And it was the funniest thing. Me and Serene were dying in the back laughing when she went outside. I don't know. We just thought it was kind of karma for being such a, you know, bitch and never wanting to do her job. She would make people always do her job, and that's what I just cannot stand. If you're a manager, you gotta act like a manager, you know, like you can't act like that. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe this video if you liked it. I would appreciate it, and share it with your friends. I don't know, think about before you work at Subway because it does depend on the location that you work at. I've seen a couple other videos about terrible subways. And it honestly usually has to do with the management, I would say, just because your manager will make or break your job, and especially when they have control of your hours. And especially, I don't know, you also need to stick up for yourself, because just because they're a manager doesn't mean they can get away with shit, because they obviously do things wrong too, and I've learned that. So I don't know. Have a great day, you guys, and yeah, bye.